Alright. Fucking genius move, I tell ya. Christ almighty. So yeah, I'm here on a fucking Thursday. Like I said, a lot of you probably have some better shit to do. Probably. But that don't mean you can't stop in and say hello. You dig? Alright. So distractibility is my not superpower. People that say shit is their superpower, go fuck yourself. So we're going to go ahead and get right to it. Right to the painting. Because I want to start getting done with this shit. Therefore, I must start using all of my considerable artistic powers to stop being a little bitch about it. And so the blends are going to come much more rapidly now. Blending. You do have to learn to love it. And other happenings now. Apparently declaring war on a country so nobody finds out that you're a fucking child molester is a power move. I know at least one person whose feelings that's going to hurt. But, you know, the fact of the matter is, that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. We are actually at the point where a dawdling asshole who has to sound out every word that he reads. Liberals, autism, acetamin, Tylenol. Well, that shows you what a genius friggin' intellect I'm working with. I can't even identify the friggin' color I wanted to get. This is where shit starts to fall apart for me in general. When I'm trying to look capable of holding more than one thought. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you it does not work. Not for yours truly. So yeah, that's the move now. You declare war. Gotta love that shit. Because you have banker buddies that could afford to buy children. Does it sound like a good time yet? I sure hope so. Because there's going to be a lot more of it. Something from the grill, Jill. Yeah, just in case you're wondering, that was a little bit of a Muppets Take Manhattan reference. Wait till the boys in marketing hear this. So the soft shading, it may be the death of me. I think I realize that if there's anything I've declared war on, it's probably this painting. But, mind you, this will show you where I'm still towing the line. It is not a school that I declared war on, nor a synagogue. The division is real, people. And to not process this shit is robbing you of the chance of developing your critical thinking skills. It'll drive you crazy. Because you'll soon start to realize how many people have bought in to the horse hockey. Yep. Nothing like crying foul. When you realize that a person who was spending millions upon millions of dollars on things that include a personal fucking 50 Shades of Grey room on an airplane that is government issue, still has a job. Not the job that they had, but they still have a job. And in other news, remember a few weeks ago when there were some people in Minneapolis that kind of got shot by ICE agents. One of them, straight up fucking executed. Remember that? So that's gone by the wayside. This administration has fully stonewalled all of that shit into moot talking points. Through just obfuscation and refusal to observe norms and even judicial orders. Not an ounce of shame was fucking seen. And I don't think we should expect it to be. Because the rumblings that everybody should be hearing is indicating that there's going to be some kind of emergency created, manufactured shit to suppress people who vote. And to the people who are still in disbelief, we're kind of still on the fence, maybe. Still in a little bit of denial, thinking like, oh well, it's not that bad. It's, you know, have an attempt at a moment of clarity, and ask yourself if 5 months ago you could imagine this shit was going to be where it is right now. Oh, by the way, with all that ultra horrible shit that I just talked about, and that's, you know, that's not the only things that happened. There was another mass shooting attempt today. The U.S. is responsible with Tomahawk missiles, which you know, it's gonna come out. You know, all this horse shit about investigating. Not terribly hard to know where a Tomahawk missile came from. Yeah, there ain't really much of a way to false flag that shit. But yeah, in the midst of all that, horrible shock and awe strategy that's just being executed day after day after day after day after day, and the level of insane inhumanity, indifference to extermination of people across the sea so that there's beachfront property, basically. That a United Nations alternative was created out of a bunch of people who were willing to throw billions of dollars away in support of said beachfront property. There is things that we can smile about. Some of them, including my painting here, being a awesomely masterful person of an artist-ish. Stumble across things on YouTube. There's a channel, Sus Records. They do some AI stuff. Now, that said, some people hate AI. I know all the negatives and everything. I know all the power it wastes. But what you can do, it's here right now. It is very clear that there is a lot more debate that needs to happen on limitations and on, you know, the basic overall futurism of this thing, and how to go about collectively and ethically moving forward with it. That said, Sus Records, it seems to me, may be composing time period specific music that is damn near witchcraft. Not in the bad way, not in the burn them at the stake way. But you know, we'll get into that whole shit later. But in the way that arrests your fucking attention. So, we'll take a quick pause, and we're gonna listen to a song, at least a snippet of this song. I don't know if anybody can see that bottom window, but that's what we're getting into. There is a fictionalish track, the title of which is "Do You Want to Fondle My Tits?" Band 1950s song. So, why don't we go ahead and see about that?
Are made for jumping,
Well,
and I just
we got to take that back to the beginning. And here we go.
I
for the
don't
hip
want to
cats.
seem forward, but I'd like to see you tonight. Maybe we can have a late dinner and take a walk under the moonlight. And when you take me home, that's when the real fun begins. I don't want to be alone, so I invite you in. And if you don't know what to
Pretty
do
swinging.
to me, here's a suggestion or three. Do you want to fondle my tits? Can you find a face for me where I can sit? Maybe you can do me so hard
Son of a
that I
bitch.
lose my wits. Yes, but
God damn it! Fucking drop my marker. I don't know if I expected something so coherent. With verve that way. Okay. Well, Sus Records, I'm convinced. You guys are fucking geniuses. So I'm giving that a like. I don't want to do a copyright strike, so I'm going to fucking stop it right there. I think I got less than 30 seconds. No, I got in a full minute. So they may copyright strike my shit. But Sus Records, I'm fully friggin' attributing whoever did this. Hit songs of the 50s. Oh my gosh. They have stickers. So we have the $3.75 special. Now this is a fridge magnet. Yeah, is that a magnet? It is. It's a magnet. Anita Hardcock. That's $3.75. Kind of a bargain. right next to Anita, is Wilma Fingerdew. I could breathe this shit. This gives me faith again. Goddamn. If only we could all have imaginations that big. Wilma Fingerdew. Oh, who's that? There's the old lady. She was offended. Alright, let's get some green on that mofo. We may go into some other things later. Because there's always something to get into. Of course, the synagogue being attacked. And that was in Michigan. Uh-oh, we might have to get into some pygmy dance, I guess. That's 19 years old. How the fuck are there 19-year-old videos on YouTube? I guess that's just me kind of showing my age. Where I'm like, oh my god, 19 years. That's back before Perkins was closed down. Shit. Iran has Lego propaganda. Ah. Mila. We have this fine Texan here who,
We just keep on giving out Fell For It Again awards. Okay, listen to this. Trump just put on Truth Social, the United States is the world's largest producer of oil, by far. So when oil prices go up, we make a lot of money. Who is we? Oh, you talking about the same oil companies that he asked for $1 billion for in exchange for favors? Is that who the we that he's speaking of is? So you got that, Repubs? Your president just told you that he's okay with you paying more for gas. He's okay with these price increases because the people who gave him money are going to make more of it. He's quite literally defecating in your face, and he's rubbing it in. We just keep on giving out Fell For It Again awards. Okay, listen to this. Trump just put on Truth Social, the United States is the world's largest producer of oil.
And he keeps rubbing it in.
So when oil prices go up,
that was magic.
We make a lot of money.
All right, we'll give that a like.
Who is we? Oh, you talking about the same oil companies that he asked for $1 billion for?
Hello, and welcome to the best thing to ever happen to me. Let's have a look.
Hello, and welcome to Rich People Things Us Poors Haven't Heard of.
An 11-year-old named Mia plays the fashion game with her Barbies.
Today, we're looking at pants. First off, we have these. They are low-rise skinny jeans. That's the entire description.
The sass.
And cost $2,475. Our journey has just begun.
You guys.
These are our frayed 1950s low-cut shorts. And I don't think you can guess how much they cost.
Oh, I bet I can't, Mia.
$9,667.99. There is a concierge service. For the first 2 weeks after purchase, you get 24/7 concierge service if the pants are just not quite right, or if you want some help getting dressed, I guess.
It's the 99 cents for me. But also, what 11-year-old knows what a concierge service is? Mom, Dad, you are killing it!
But next up... Oh.
Why is she dressed like
next up
Calvin?
is
Oh, those are glasses.
She gets me.
Oh, next up, we have this abomination.
She really gets me.
Now my hand is
All right,
here.
that's enough of that shit. That's all right. We'll find other stuff later. Aw, Indy and short round. Not bad. Okay, diesel just hit 470 in Illinois. That's some shit. That's something I think that's worth talking about. I mean, really, there's going to be people who are all, you know. That's because of the liberals and their taxes over there. That's what is going. That's typically the first thing that a lot of conservatives are going to go for. You know, kind of that lazy argument. Very little to do with the root cause, as it were. Which, you know, I mean, there's no other way to really summarize it except that there were gentlemen that wanted to be touched badly by, you know, people that were a bit young. And so no being real coy about that. They're the pedos in their speedos. Not to make light of it, but fuck, man. Where are our arrests? Last I saw, the Brits already had Prince Andrew in cuffs. British resignations. French investigations. Millionaires got a little bit skirted. You know, that's understandable. When you do some shit you're not supposed to do, typically, you don't want people to find out. And it seems to me there's a whole lot of shit that wasn't supposed to get found out that is guiding the world happenings at the moment. Happy, happy, joy, joy. All right. Let's take a moment and listen to old TPJ. Because I guarantee, and I know that typically I'm like, settle down, bro. But then I had new appreciation for it. When he got upset about somebody misreferencing an Apple Watch on Stranger Things. So I get that. He's a fellow Gen Xer.
I want to address this comment about diesel prices, but everybody that doesn't drive a diesel vehicle, don't just scroll, okay? This guy says everyone talks about gas. Check the rise in diesel prices in the last week. Yes, diesel in my area a week ago was $3.60. Today it's $4.70. Yeah, $4.70. A year ago it was $3.40 something. It's got diesel has done nothing but gone up since Trump has come back in office. And there might be a lot of people watching this going, and why do I give a shit about diesel prices? I don't drive a diesel vehicle. Because everything that you buy is shipped damn near using diesel. All of it. The gas you put in your gas car is brought to the gas tank in a truck burning diesel fuel. The clothes you buy off the rack were brought to the store in a truck burning diesel fuel. the food you buy off the shelf in the grocery store was brought to that grocery store, you probably in a truck running on diesel. It touches everything. It touches everything. You go to Best Buy and buy a laptop. It got to that store in a truck that ran on diesel. And so if the cost of operating all of those trucks goes up because the cost of diesel fuel goes up, then eventually, much like a tariff, the cost of the goods that we're going to buy is going to keep going up because they're going to pass on the higher diesel fuel rates.
Stop
And
making
eventually,
sense and
that's
shit.
going to hit everything that gets touched by diesel, right? It's going to be the poultry that gets delivered to your grocery store. It's going to be the hoodie that gets delivered to your Target. It's going to be the computer that gets delivered to your Best Buy. But it's also going to be the agricultural commodity that's getting exported to somewhere in the United States of America, because there's got to be a truck that brings that commodity, that brings an empty container from the yard to the grain elevator, gets loaded and brings that commodity back, and then that commodity needs to be put on a train and taken to a port, and that's probably diesel. So if the price of diesel goes through the roof, we're going to start to see it everywhere, and diesel is going through the roof. 470 is the Illinois average. I think our local fuel stations here, where the truckers are stopping a lot, I think that they just crossed $5 maybe yesterday. That is going to put a serious crimp. That's going to put an additional charge on every load moved. It's no different than when the cost of, so you see those ocean going vessels that come and go. We buy a bunch of shit from.
So yeah. Earlier I went out and took a drive. Did see the price of diesel on my large corner supermarket. And just up the street, diesel was just about $5 a gallon. It is right there. It's like a mouse fart from that fucking shit. So, you know, what was it those assholes were saying about the temporary worth the long term? Had some assholes on Fox repeating that talking point too. And, you know, the hypocrisy is not lost. They're just hoping that not too many people will sing a tune that doesn't match up with that. So, and I'm just wondering when enough people are going to get angry about a bunch of fucking billionaires telling you to stay calm and just keep paying out for their fuck ups. Because really, people were upset enough about the costs of food going up. And let's not kid each other. Cost of food is not going down. You can say it is. You can live in fantasy pretend land like that. Don't make it true, baby. Don't make it true at all. You know, there are a few people that are waking up enough, willing to assert that dirty business, that oh shit, they really did tell a lie just now. Even fucking Joe Rogan, he's starting to like kind of stir, and it's funny because he still can't get all the way mad at fucking shits and pants, because he quietly is kind of suggesting, oh, you know, this is so crazy. I don't understand why he would, you know, go into this war, and it's just not good. And he said he wouldn't do this. But then when it comes to anybody talking about millionaire taxes, then he gets to like the fighting postures. And who told them? You know, is that even right? Just taking money that's not yours? It's like, oh, Joe. You're kind of waking up. But then, you know, you answer your own question. You just kind of out yourself as, you know, you're bought and paid for. You're one of their little tools. You know, you have the president's personal cell number, and you know, you guys, your little bros club. I'm sure you guys talk about who you fucking hate, and you know, do the locker room talk. I'm sure. You know, Dana White is there, salivating at the chance to host a fucking UFC event on the goddamn White House lawn. Oh, hello. You disappeared it. So all that said, I'm just wondering, you know, how people don't remember Dana White slapping his wife around on video. Kind of a thing, you know. Could have some bearing on the type of character. I'm gonna have to get into some skinnier pins here in just a minute, because we got detail work coming up. I'm afraid to show. Do you think so, Miss Moneypenny? Yeah, but I think I'm gonna have to punch a little more color up into this. I think that's gonna have to happen. We do have to have some substantially darker action happening here. And I think we're going to have to get a little more complementary with the color scheme. So let's see how well this takes a blend to each other. Holly jolly Christmas colors mixed together become a grayish substance. Alright, we need to get a puff on that. Not that type of puff. Yes. We will blend this out into a proper shadow. This I swear. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. That is going to work, I tell you. Smidge of that dark blue. Oh my, that is powerful. Alright, we'll leave that alone for a bit. Because if you see, there is a kind of a patchiness that'll work its way in. So we will tackle that as we get to it. Whoa. Here I'm just destroying. Yep, shadows are coming in. So much better every time. go ahead and start working the blue to where it needs to be. Now that almost all the blue is, well, all of that's dried out pretty well. Because like I says, all the damn time, we're not going for perfection, we're going for convincing light quality. Do a little dry brush as much as we possibly can. That is going to get the blend in a way. That is much more convincing. Wipe off some of that excess moisture. Battle back and forth with these blends because ultimately part of the epic convincing here of the light quality is going to be in large part due to the work done on this underpainting. It's all just gonna snap in place like nobody's business. That's me also giving myself a little pep talk. Like, I don't see that muddy shit right there. No. This is where we work out the kinks. And so that is why these little paintings can sometimes take me a while. Because I love me some good light quality. I want it to be as convincing as possible. And I've got to get that to where it needs to be before I start laying in fine details. See, like right here in this area across the chin. Oh shit. Well, you can't see my mouse much on it. Oh yeah, you can. Check that out. Whew. But right here, this super dark area on the chin, that's gonna take a lot of work blending up. It sure is. Then I still got to get these highlights on the lip. Well shit, I got to get the lip actually to a convincing color. But that said, you know, the details are what's going to matter. Like this highlight right here, this highlight right here on the edge of the mouth, highlight on the ridge right here, the curvature of the lip. All of these shadows interplaying. Yeah, all of that is going to be done with these soft little brush techniques. So, into it we go. And we ain't talking taxes. Not a chance. Do you hear me into it? Don't get all fucking excited. We're gonna go with that. Or we're gonna start more conservative. Yeah, why don't we go a little more conservative? Or conservative, as I just characterized it. By the way, if you guys haven't kept up with TNA wrestling, it is back on regular TV if you live in an area where you didn't have TNA for a while. It's on AMC Thursday nights. Blast from the past. The Hardy Boys are the tag team champions in this promotion. Nate Nemeth is with the company. If you don't know who that name is, when he was in WWE, he was Dolph Ziggler. I, for one, thought he was quite the prime talent. And he is definitely a veteran presence. He can sell the heck out of pretty much anyone in a match. And he can go heel or face pretty dang easily, because he knows how to play a douchebag. Now, he's pretty close to my personal age, which means, you know, probably some of the same tastes in movies. Laughed at the same douchebag shit when he was younger. Kind of like how you can find the people who you know you're going to be getting along with in a big room if you just utter the right movie line, and you get one of those looks like, I don't know if it's exactly that look, but you get the basic premise. You got to put a feeler out. like that when it starts. Sandbagging around these areas. Righty-o. We're getting everywhere we needs to get. But it is pretty clear I'm going to have to pull out the bigger, much more horrible guns. Now see, this brush, it barely fits, but it is also the only one that I trust to actually push color. In a productive manner. Just a little bit of that dabbiness. And that is what's going to give us a little bit of edge on making these colors blend in a good way. Can you dig it? That is going to allow for some good color blending on that dark. Make it a little less one-dimensional. Heck yeah, peoples, my peeps. Move these guys out of the way. See if we can get some detail work in here with the little guys. Hey little fellas, I missed you too. What do you think about that, Mr. Hat? Kill her. Mr. Hat. Alright, so I just befuddled my damn self. Nothing wrong with it. But I am going to have to get a little bit of the magnifier here going so that I can be seeing shit as well as possible. Yeah, I think I was right. I need to get a little dark purple on that. In that eyeball. That's going to start making it land there just right. Just a violet color. Violet-ish. That light violet, we're going to go ahead and do this coral type color. It's going to look a lot more appropriate for that little tiny bit of highlight there. Here I am blending the tiniest colors I can possibly find. Perfect. Now this other eye is so dang dark. We're just going to have to land darker details. I don't have a green one out. Or yes, I do. So I can give that little complimentary dash to it. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a little more work with that shape. Because the darks are going to have to be blended. And I do got black, but I use that sparingly. Now at this point, we're actually far enough along where it might pop a bit. So I'm going to get some of this blender ready. When I say pop, that's a good thing. It's going to make this stuff stand out. There's enough grayness, lack of like blacks or whites, that it is going to provide a nice stark contrast. There we go. This is going to allow any highlights to really stand out as they should. Okay, so let's put a little bit up here where this eyelid curves in some. If we need to lighten that up a little bit, we can do that in just a minute. But we want to make sure that what's been laid down is going to be enough to kind of show off that little bit of dimension there. Which, oh yeah, that is going to pop. But what's going to be even more intense is when I lay in the pure black that's in her eyes. That's going to make motherfuckers jump out their seats. Huh? Disbelief. Let's see how my channels are doing. Well, son of a bitch, I've had 0 viewers all night. Well, I did have an old buddy came in for a bit. You have been painting in this style with similar palette for some years, bro. I am curious what first influenced this style of yours, and has your study... Well, nothing in particular I can think of influenced it, except I like dramatic lighting, and so some of the older artists that I used to watch, well, not necessarily watch because you couldn't watch them, but portraitists. Probably first and foremost is John Singer Sargent. Had excellent light quality and kind of a dramatic presentation to anybody he painted. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Sorry I didn't answer your question while you were still on, my dude. But hopefully you can see that later in the replay. Let's control the light on there a little bit. Yes, yes. What can I do? There we go. That is much better visibility. Darks are coming in nice, rich, frothy. It's fucking frappe of painting. And I'm trying to get the guts up to go in and do what I think needs to be done on the nose area now that I'm laying in some black. And I might as well Because ain't nobody gonna do it for me. I'm running the show here, goddammit. At least that's what I like to think. Yeah, that'll definitely work. Because there is some very intense shadow. And all we really need on this is a slightly wet brush. Because this color is some of the first that I laid in. Oh yeah. That's starting to look good, my peeps. Yep, that's getting it. That's getting it, I tell you. All right, let's go ahead and get some of that blend back to the bridge of the nose, right up here in this corner, because I've ignored that quite a bit. I've let it intimidate me out of working it. Or perhaps I purposely made it think I was intimidated. Sort of a ingenious ruse. That's blasphemy. Get in here with the happy little blend. And yeah, that's all right. Well, I'm just about done here for the night. Gotta say, I'm pretty satisfied with the work. Of course, there's a heck of a lot more blending to do, as per usual. But there's nothing to do except to get to work on it, you dig? whole damn hot dog cart. Thought I had my other brush. All right. Now he's excited. Dare I say, feeling optimistic. More optimistic than I felt earlier. Which, you know, that's probably a symptom of just a steady diet of watching horrible shit. And by horrible shit, I'm talking about the bro culture that's taken over the government. Now, if you had any doubts about who they're pandering to, or any doubts about their maturity level, their ability to appreciate the situations that they've cast everyone into. I think it becomes abundantly clear when you realize what our White House has thrust forth from its dirty fucking pants. Its dirty, horrible uncle that always has extra dollars and bad breath sort of thing. Yeah, that shit. Oh my. Well, let's get back with good old Tommy Powell here for a moment, and I'll tell you why I appreciate kind of what he's been doing, because I did make reference earlier to his complaining about somebody mistaking a sighting of a calculator watch for an Apple Watch. How the fuck does that happen? So, he was just as flabbergasted. He said he needed to get right with it, and cut to two huge billowing clouds just flowing forth from his mouth, and he was surrounded by clouds as well. So that's where his tolerance comes from.
From overseas, they come in on a vessel with all those containers that are offloaded at the ports, and then those containers go to the warehouses. And
well, I've already thought my way through this issue. I want to search up those friggin' White House promos. Look at this. Iran war videos. White House wins the meme war against Iran. Were we in a meme war? The United States was in a meme war. Who the fuck declared that? It looks like they turned him. Okay, let's go to the White House page. America is back! Did you know that? America's back. Look at that. Yeah, I think I'm going to steal that. I'm going to change the B to an F. It's going to be America is fuck. Alright, where's these friggin' videos? Two goats? Is that what it is? No. I need the newest. The latest. Are those going to be here or are those going to be on the shorts? Oh, I thought it said President Trump gargles. Like, we knew. Bubba. No lies. What about the shorts? I celebrate Women's History Month. I love women. I've loved them all of my life. My mother was a woman. And I used to say, Mother, one of these days, I'm gonna fix this country. But I won't really mean it. And what I'll do is I'll loot it so that our family can have money for the next 1,000 years and probably own more islands than Epstein. Putting an end to Iran's threat once and for all. Oh, here we go. This is a short. So let's keep it short.
Strike to claim it. A strike to claim it. And he got it! Here comes the heat from the USA. Pins down. What a strike. That's right. Who do you think you are? I am. Strike.
That is pretty peak douchebag right there. I'd imagine that there were probably some, decent amount of fellows in the manosphere that watched that and were like, "Oh!" Can you imagine how they must feel just getting so totally owned? Here's another one. Operation Epic Fury. And there's the White House. I approve of this message. I bull all strikes. I golf all hole-in-ones. There's no handicap for me. There's no way I'd ever be handicapped. Yeah. So fuck that shit. I'm surprised Nintendo hasn't sued over that shit yet. Because obviously, we all know, because I've struck out plenty of times on that motherfucker right there. This little biatch. But, so that's what these motherfuckers are putting out. That's their answer. For a war where they bombed a fucking school, lit the sky on fire, so it's acid rain now, did not get rid of the regime, have spiked the world oil prices, which is going to lead to probably a global recession. You know, the strategic oil reserves that they released are not fucking enough. And, well, where else should we go? Oh, yeah. Pam Bondi lied to fucking Congress under oath. Nothing's happened to her. And, you know, still no answer for those files, and the 3 million plus files that have still not been delivered. Where they can talk all they want about, you know, oh, it's duplicates, or so release them. Let us see, Pamela. Let us see. You're safe now that you moved on to a military fucking base too. America is... I'm fucking screenshotting that horse shit. Oh, come on, man. Give me the screenshot. Alright, I'm going to have to go for the snip. And I don't mean the snip. I mean, I'm taking a screenshot. All right, that is saved, baby. I'm glad I've got my little digital tricks here. So, we'll go ahead and play my jams again. Now that I have that saved. And I'm looking like we're just about getting done. Because, yeah, Daddy, you got to get to bed earlier tonight. Last night I was up a hell of a lot later than I should have been. And as a result, I woke up with horrible back pain. Terrible. Could barely friggin' move. I felt every bit of closing in on 50. And I think the probably the dawn of your own mortality comes when you realize that if you have more than one beer, you're gonna fucking pay for it the next day. Be like, oh shit, why do I feel weird? I had 2 beers. Well, because, you know, you need Metamucil now. And saving this is going to be difficult. Because I don't know exactly where it should go. We'll just put it in my logos. That's right, baby. America is back! Yeah, do you know how rockin' that is? So rockin' that I'm gonna play fucking YMCA everywhere I go. Alright. So back to the subject of my painting, Hal. And we'll go ahead and get that stupid White House logo out of here. That's some embarrassing shit. Oh. Foreign hacker steals Epstein files. Well, Jennifer, I want this tea. I'm going to have to knock off of here so I can do some binge watching while I'm falling asleep. That said, I will be looking up some choice movie parts so that I can play them on here. Survival Kitchen 1930, The Poor Man's Steak. That last 2 years, I thought I was done. I thought I was fucking done. This shit just pulled me in. It's the algorithm. Jesus Christ. Will somebody save me from myself? I have to know what that is.
This is the poor man's steak. It keeps for 2 years without a fridge or electricity, right inside a jar. A recipe from the 1930s that helped families survive the Great Depression when store shelves were bare. I'll walk you through the entire process step by step so you can build your own supply. But pay close attention. At the end of the video, I'll show you one critical step. Skip it, and botulism will grow inside that jar, turning your food into a deadly poison. Watch until the end.
I thought we liked botulism
a matter
right
of
now.
life and death. Let's get started. I have just over a pound of ground beef.
Oh, I just heard somebody
1
hit me up.
pound, 2 ounces to be exact. We need 2 medium white onions. Onion is not just flavor, it's a natural antiseptic. It suppresses bacteria and releases juice that keeps the patty tender even after 3 hours of cooking. Dice them as fine as you can, no large chunks. If the onion doesn't dissolve into the meat, the patty will fall apart.
Wow.
Add the onion to the beef and start mixing. With your hands,
Bro.
not a spoon. That's the only way to feel the texture. The meat needs to become uniform, almost like a paste. While I'm mixing, let me tell you something. This recipe was known in Amish communities in Pennsylvania and Ohio as far back as the late 1800s. But it went mainstream in the 1930s
Holy
during the Great
shit.
Depression, when unemployment in the U.S. hit 25%. Families canned everything they could.
Bro.
Meat in jars wasn't everyday food. It was an emergency reserve. Insurance against starvation. Here's a trick I found in old Amish records. A regular canning jar lid. I coat the inside with olive oil. Why? So the patty won't stick and the shape will be perfect, flat and uniform.
Not
Same
bad.
size matters. Every patty needs to cook through evenly. Press the meat into the lid, pack it down firmly with your thumb. Flip it over. There's your perfect patty. Round, even, about ½ inch thick. That exact size is what lets them stack neatly inside the jar. I'll shape all the patties now. From this amount of meat, I get 8 to 9 pieces. That's 1 full jar. 1 dinner for a family of 4 with no grocery store anywhere in sight. That's how the Amish live, and that's how they survive. In previous videos, I told you, don't throw away bones.
Nice.
Here's why.
Thank you.
These are chicken bones from past recipes. I drop them in a
All
pot,
right.
cover with water. Add a teaspoon of salt and a handful of finely chopped onion. Simmer on medium heat for exactly
shit.
1 hour. In that hour,
I think
the
I'm
bones
actually going to
will
watch this
release
in
all
my
their
off
collagen, all their
motherfucking time.
minerals, calcium, phosphorus, magnesium. This is no longer just water. This is liquid gold for preserving. I take a pan, Add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Fry for 10 minutes on each side.
10
Don't
minutes.
rush. We need a crust. A golden, firm crust. This isn't just about looks. It's a barrier that seals the juices inside the patty once it's in the jar.
Oh, man.
Without that crust, the meat will turn to mush. If you haven't liked this video yet, do it now. That's the signal to the algorithm that recipes like this still matter to people.
I'm gonna like
I take
it.
a quart-sized mason jar, about a liter. I start stacking the patties one on top of the other. Snug, but not forced. They shouldn't get crushed. Same technique, same jars, same hands in the kitchen energy
Dang, man.
as 1930. Tell me in the comments, did anyone in your family ever preserve meat like this? Grandma, grandpa, anyone? Will expand when heated. And if the jar is full, the pressure will build up and the jar may explode. Will expand when heated. And if the jar is full, the lid will blow off. Or worse, the jar will crack. Before sealing, I wipe the jar rim dry with a cloth soaked in vinegar. No grease on the glass. Grease will break the seal. I close the lid, but not all the way. Air needs to escape during processing. Did you know about the vinegar rule? Leave a comment.
I didn't.
I read every single one. And now, the secret I mentioned at the very beginning. Vinegar. 1
All right.
teaspoon per jar. This will not make the meat taste sour, I promise. Vinegar lowers the pH inside the jar. And the low pH
So it's a little
is
bit
your
pickled.
insurance against botulism. We process for 3 hours. This is exactly how the Amish did it, water bath canning. No pressure canner needed, just heat, water, glass, and time. At 212 degrees Fahrenheit, boiling point, the temperature inside the jar kills all pathogens. The vacuum forms on its own as the jar
We're getting
cools.
some sciencey shit here.
3 hours have passed. Look at the jar. Look at that broth. Deep, dark, rich. That color means the collagen fully broke down. 3 hours ago, this was raw meat and water. Now it's a meal that can sit on your shelf for 2 years. Let's open it. Hear that click? Vacuum sealed.
Didn't wait 2
The
years, man.
technology works. Oh, wow. The smell? There are no words for it.
Yeah,
Caramelized
it was
meat,
beefy.
bone broth, onion, all together. I open it, and these are no longer just patties. They've darkened to a deep, rich brown. The broth has thickened around them like a natural jelly. I cut one open, fully cooked through, tender as butter. This is poor man's steak in a jar. This is exactly how families ate in the 1930s when store shelves were empty. This is exactly how the Amish get through every winter to this day. Incredible. Seriously, if you don't have at least 5 jars like this at home, you are not ready for anything. Make these now while you still can. Store
got
up to
jars
2
like
years
that.
without refrigeration in a cool, dark place. Subscribe to the channel.
Dang,
this is
man.
where we cook food that will
So yeah, well, I'm gonna give him the full
outlast
watch here.
any apocalypse.
Let
Next week,
him get credit
a
for that.
recipe I found in documents
So
from the
Survival Kitchen
1800s.
1930, that's
See
the
you then.
direction we might be going, baby. You know, considering somebody wanted to kick a hornet's nest and activate a bunch of terrorist cells around the world. Breathe deep, because it does mean we are going to be neck deep in poor man's steak if you plan just right. So, all right, back on the subject. The subject was I was getting done painting because ultimately I stayed up way too fucking late last night. And so I'm going to bed. I appreciate anybody that stopped on by. I hope wherever you're at, you're staying safe. You're keeping a watch on your neighbors. Making sure to really understand the gravity of where we're at right now. And if you have good things in your life, be grateful for them. Because those are the things we're going to have to hang on to. No doubt we should do that every day. But it's going to become more important the more that people are going to try to obscure the truth and say that what we saw isn't what we actually saw. What we're hearing isn't what we're actually hearing. So, yeah, all of that's going to be important to stay grounded and maintain a perspective. So, yeah, painting's done for the night. She looks good. Shadows are coming in much better. And yeah, we'll get to it again probably tomorrow. I'm going to take tomorrow off. Yeah. Got to consider the Fridays. Competing against too many guys on the internet on Fridays. Might have to switch to broadcasting at 4 a.m. and capture that European audience. Hopefully there's a Europe tomorrow. Anyway, yeah. Stay safe where you're at. I appreciate anybody who stopped in. I appreciate anybody who's watching this after the fact. I am looking for collaborators. Hit me up in the messages on whatever platform you're watching me on. And yeah, I appreciate likes and follows. And you guys have a good night.